Hello, dear friends. Can you hear me properly?
Yeah.
Thank you. Today we start our mobile application development training. I'm very glad to see every one of you, and I would like to welcome you from the side of Worldskills of Russia. Emil, could you please share the screen with presentations?
Just a second.
Okay. So I would like to say that this training is not just a single training, not just a single skills camp. It is a part of a big program, big training program that we run together with our colleagues from Saharan region and from Worldskills Asia. And I would like to introduce you a bit Saharan region. It is situated on the far east of Russia, and it is famous for its quick development. So our colleagues from Saharan region already led our national competition in 2018. And now they develop about 89 skills, and they have about 30 departments in industry, in education. I would like to say also several words about Russia, or Worldskills Russia. You know, we were quite experienced member of Worldskills movement, and we became the member in 2012. We will have an anniversary next year. Oh, thank you for the presentation. Please, next slide. And maybe even third one. Okay, the previous. Thank you. So we joined Worldskills movement in 2012, and in 2013 we experienced our first international competition, but we were like on the last lines of the results table, and we started to develop. We started to cooperate with our partners from different countries, and we started to bring Worldskills tools to our educational system. And in 2019, we already hosted international competition in Kazan, and I believe that some of you even joined it. In 2023, we will also host European competition. Next slide, please. So based on our experience, we understand that the best way to cooperate effectively within Worldskills movement is to hold joint competitions or joint trainings, especially in these times. We also understand that for more effective work, it is important that not only experts, but also competitors who had opportunity to participate, so they understood all the stages of the process. And we're also happy that through these times, we found opportunity to be all together in one space. We're all on different locations, on multi-venues, but we're all in the same space, thanks to Zoom developers. And I believe that you will have very effective times, very effective training, because our experts who will lead this training, Emil and Lydia, are very professional. So I wish you to have good time. I wish you to get as much as possible from this training for your future work. Thank you. And now I will introduce you Emil Sabitov, our international expert in mobile applications development. Emil, please.
Thank you, Anna. I'm glad to be here again in our camps. So I will change our slides and we will start. a second. Can you see slides?
Yeah, we can see.
Great. So, hello everyone again. Today, I hope that will be an interesting day because for today we want to introduce our skill for new experts for new countries that connected to our not big yet family, but of course after next competition in Shanghai, I hope that we will be bigger. We will be like a big community, like in another skills. And of course, during our speech, during our slides, you also can have questions, and of course you can ask them in our chat or Telegram channel, and me or my colleagues will answer them. And if you have questions which you need to ask with your voice, of course, after our slides we will talk with each other, and of course we will try to answer all your questions. And of course, I think you want to know about the plans for our interesting camp. For example, for Monday, for today, we will introduce our skill, technical description, our vision of our skill, and etc. And you can see in the slide that we've got some master classes with the programming, with the creating mobile applications. And my colleagues will show you some interesting things. And for tomorrow, we prepared some slides and some demonstration of technologies that we used for in our skill in Russia. We've got some automation for creating competitions. Of course, about it, I will tell you tomorrow. And for next days, we will discuss about some useful things about the assessment criteria, test projects, and etc. We will show you our some examples of test projects that we've got, and I will share the links where you can find test projects and you can prepare for a competition that we will have in August, if you know. And during all our competition now, I hope that you will give us feedback about what you're interested in. Like maybe we can prepare some slides for your questions, for your interesting, and you also can every day send me feedback about it, and we will can give you more interesting information. And for today, we will have some default slides about our skill, and I see that some people in our meeting now were in a previous our meetings, like in a BRICS camp in a previous year, and but we prepared something new, and I hope that it will not be boring for our old friends. And as you see, for today, we will discuss about technical things, technical description, platforms. We will share our vision and our plans of our skill. And for today, while you all here, I think that it will be good if we can make a group photo. And I want to ask you if you can turn on your cameras, and we will get screenshot of our screens. So, Lydia, can you help me to make screenshots?
Okay.
Thank you. Because I have problems when I open Keynote in slideshow mode. I don't have any controls over the Zoom. So I see that there are not many people. Okay, maybe someone is sleeping. And I think with your examples that you prepared, Lydia, they will came. Okay, I think we can continue our presentation. So first of all, I want to introduce myself for a better understanding of our vision, our principles, and etc. I'm a software engineer with maybe 12 years experience, and I'm a director of IT company, and I'm part of Worldskills from 2014. And in Russia, in Worldskills, I work with a free computer skills. Sorry, it's mobile application development, of course, software, IT software solutions, and web technologies. So I have experience in these IT skills, and using this experience, we have created mobile application skill. From 2016, we start to think about that there are no skills in Worldskills about mobile application development. I agree that some skills in WSA use mobile platforms, but they don't use all power of our mobile devices. For example, I think you know IT software solution skill, it's number 9. They also have some modules of mobile application development. And for example, in previous years, this model was too small and they don't use all power and all features of mobile devices. And because of that, we decided to make another skill, another big skill, like a mobile application development. And in our skill, we often use every mobile device, like a smartphone, tablet, watches, smartwatches, of course, and in Russia, TVs. About it, I will tell you a little bit later. And from the beginning, we start using remote services, like using APIs. We are creating custom views for mobile applications. And we did it because we know that development market because we know the development market from inside, because we are developers, because we have experience in creating mobile applications. And we also try to make our skill same as it in a life, like in real companies. Because if you know some skills in Worldskills, interesting and useful, but some processes not like in the real companies. It's about IT skills mostly. But in our skill, we're trying to make something real that can be used in every company, in every IT company in our country, of course, in Russia, and in other countries. And the success of our skill, I think it's reason of that our team is that our Russian skill consists of professionals who also develop mobile applications and other things. And our skill have several differences from another skills in the Worldskills. We don't have any mono brand, like using only, for example, only Android or only Apple software and etc. We use everything. We use everything that can be used for developing mobile applications. And I think it's very important. And so let's get more information about skill, about what what is it now. And yes, we have real official skill number. You can see it, number 8. In the previous years, when we just created the skills, we don't have a international number in Worldskills International, and we just used number F6 because we was in the future skills block. Maybe you know about future skills block already. And now I proved it. We have a real number, and it's not the end of numbers. We're in the start, on the beginning of Worldskills competition. So our skill is about creating application for mobile devices, like I told before, for smartphone, tablets, smartwatches, and in Russian skill, we also used smart television like a platform for development, and it was a good experience, I think. For example, in Russia, we used TVs because no one skill don't use any modules for creating some application for smart TVs. But also in our life, we now every home in our life have a smart TV, and I think it's very important to make high quality applications for our mobile devices. But of course, TV, it's not about mobile devices, but I think it's one big ecosystem of Android development and iOS development. And everyone knows that mobile devices is important part of our lives, because we do everything with mobile devices, write messages, watching videos, preparing this presentation, and playing games. And now, if we use smartphone, it become a part of whole ecosystem. For example, if I need to transfer some text from my laptop for my smartphone, I just try to press Ctrl and C to save some information for our buffer, and it will be copied to my smartphone because it's one big ecosystem. And it's very interesting thing, because, for example, we can use our smartwatches for fitness, for answering messages, and etc. And it's true, like one big ecosystem, because every time our smartwatches connecting to our smartphones and synchronize all information. And it's very important for competitors, for our skill, to have some knowledge how to make this synchronization between devices. And for example, you know that apps an integral part of our lives, and the marketplace is crowded of all type of mobile apps. For example, you can see there are some types of applications that can be used in our skill. It's like casual apps, financial apps, utility, and etc. And in my opinion, we need to popularize important direction of software development is applications for people with disabilities, because our mobile devices, like smartphones or smartwatches or fitness bracelets, can help people in different types. For example, our smartwatches or smart bracelets can take information about the heartbeat, about the information about oxygen in blood, and can help to make some navigation between the cities and etc. And I think it really helps to people. And if you see some video examples of best using of our smart devices for people with disabilities, and you can see that they have many useful software things and hardware things for help people. And I think it will be good in that if in competitions we will try to solve some people's problems with our mobile development. And of course, in competitions in Russia, for example, we're trying to make many types of applications, because we try to have experience in every type, like in lifestyle apps, financial apps, and etc. And our competitors in Russia also know how which things that they can be created with our development. So I see question. I hope. I agree that we shouldn't forget to make apps comfortable for these people. For example, we need to put normal buttons, to make normal names for user controls and etc. Because operating systems like Apple iOS or Google Android have many features for people with disabilities, and they can be integrated to our applications. And of course, we shouldn't forget about it. And I think that in our skill, we need to add some criteria, some aspects for these features for people with disabilities. And so, as I know, many of you don't have experience in our skill, and I think I need to give you more information about the official documentation of our skill. And for today, I want to show you some interesting sentences of our technical description. And from beginning of our skill, from 2017, we had many versions of technical descriptions. And now I want to show you technical descriptions from colleges from China that will be used in Worldskills 2022 in Worldskills Shanghai. And it has some differences from our original document, but also have interesting things. For example, in Russia, we've got many points for hardware things, like for programming, for testing, for architecting, and etc. But in the new one technical description for Shanghai, we've got some many points for manager skills. So you can see that roles that can be used that use for a developer, like receive and analyze planning purposes, like building architecture, choosing platforms, for creating application, and etc. And for today, I want to introduce you every this point. I want to show you what we have in the technical description for every this point. And I hope that with you, we can make some maybe changes in the technical description before competition start, before Worldskills Shanghai, of course, because we want to make our skill more interesting, more useful. And I hope that our skill will be same as real life, as real development life. So we have 6 Worldskills occupation standards sections. In the previous, it's named Worldskills Standard Specifications, WSS. Now it's WSOS. And you can see here the percent of points in our new one Worldskills occupation standards. And you can see here in a slide that I write it level of percents in Russian version. For example, in the fourth section, system architecture and planning, in the current technical description for Shanghai, we've got 15%, but in Russia, we also have 30% because we think that developer will know some important thing about architecting, coding, and etc. And for example, for a fifth section, implementing and product development, in technical description for Shanghai, we've got 30%, but in Russia we've got 55% because we also want to make developers, coders, like people who can make a code professionally, not the managers, only coders. So, and in our new one technical description, we have this one devices like smartphones, tablets, and watches. In a Worldskills Shanghai, we will not use television. I think it's a good thing because in Russia we use it like for testing platforms and etc. And in technical description, we also can see that competitors can use native development, like using Swift or Objective-C for iOS development, or Kotlin or Java for Android development, or as we can see, Flutter. And for now, I want to open technical description for showing you. Just a second. Oh, no, it's not, it's wrong slide. Give me a second. I will show you document. Okay, I'm here. Yeah, I hope that you can see our document. So, of course, technical description is public, and I don't want to spend your time for reading all technical description, but I have some interesting elements that I am highlighted for me, but I don't see highlights here. Why? Just a second. Okay, I've got my highlights in another screen, so I will open it. Yeah. So, what interesting we've got in our Worldskills occupation standard. It's, for example, you can see that in the work organization and management, we've got many things about the organization working, about working with the clients, and etc. For example, about the using data, about the just a second, my highlight. Oh, yeah, and about the working with their clients, like discussing about the application, about that competitor will need to do, and etc. So competitor would know how to read some official documents, maybe formal documents, and etc. And I guess that in Worldskills Shanghai, we will got some test project models about working with documents from client. Like a client will be like an orderer of program of mobile application, and I think that competitor will discuss with someone about that, what we need to add to our mobile application, and etc. And next one, it's about business communication. Here we can see that we also have some important section for speaking, listening, and writing skills. I think that it's very important because many developers, many competitors have some problems with introducing these works, with the presentations, and etc. And because of that, in Russia, we've got some models when competitors will show slides of these works. They telling about their technologies that they used, about the problems that they had, and etc. And we see that in technical description for Shanghai, we also have these sections. And next one, we've got the thing about the sorting customer needs. I guess that we can got some list of needs about that application will include, but I think that competitor will make some ordering by a level of importance for every feature that competitor will create, and these documents in the test project, I think we can see this. And next one, it's about the client. So the second and the first section, it's about not developer, I think. It's about the manager, the project manager. For example, in companies in Russia and in many European companies, we have different people for working with developing mobile applications. We have one person like a project manager who can discuss with the client with about what we need to do and etc. But we have another person, it's like a developer who will just coding everything. And we have another person, it's like a designer who will create user interface, who will discuss with a product manager or with a client what client would to see, like colors, elements, and etc. And we have 3 people for creating one big application. But here in current technical description, we can see that our competitor would have experience and knowledge that we will have 3 people in Russia. So next one, it's planning, design, and test framework. You can see that I told before, competitor would know how to design methods of user interface. So he must know how to make design, how to make user controls and etc. Like this one, yeah. And I guess that in Worldskills Shanghai, we also have models about designing some layouts of mobile application. Here we can see some information for coders, for developers, like specifications for writing the code, for writing program documentation, and etc. So next one, we can see that as I told, our competitor will know how to use applications for design layouts, like Adobe XD, Sketch, or I guess not Sigma, as here's a Figma. For example, in Russia, we use Figma application for giving layouts for computer. And here's a strange point about the produce user experience documentation for application. I don't know about it, it's about the step before development or after development, like a style guide. I don't know, but we also have some things for designer and etc. So next one, it's more interesting about system architecture planning. It's about development, and here you can see many important information about platforms and about what competitor can use and must use. For example, you can see here that we have got a Flutter. As you know, Flutter is a cross-platform development thing, and it's from Google. And for today, it's used in some companies, but also have some problems for developers. And I think it's too early for using a Flutter in Worldskills too. But of course, we've got it here. We don't have another cross-platform development thing like React Native, Xamarin, PhoneGap, and etc. And I'm glad because because we think that our developers, our students, competitors in Russia, first of all, will learn how to use native development, and just after it, they can use to try another cross-platform development things like React Native or Xamarin, etc. Or if you know, in current summer, Microsoft will show us a new platform for mobile development. I don't remember the true name, but I hope it will be interesting. And of course, you can see that our competitors can choose platforms, Android or iOS, and it's not means that competitor will know both platforms. Of course, competitor can choose. He will code for Android or for iOS. He can use only one platform, and of course, competitor will know about SDKs and other development things for this platform. For example, for Android, computer will know differences between versions of Android, between possibilities in these platforms, and etc. And for iOS, of course, computer too knows about the languages version, for like Swift language versions, and differences with the versions of operating system, and etc. And you can see that, of course, competitor will know how to connect with another devices, with another servers, how to get information from another external services. So for that, we can use HTTP protocols, WebSockets, and etc. And in Russia, we also work with the remote services too, because I can't imagine that some new mobile application can work without a remote server, because everything collecting data from a remote service. We can see that competitor will know how to design databases. IGOS, it's for local saving and for local information saving and etc. And of course, competitor will know how to use, how to read, how to serialize and deserialize information from popular formats like JSON, XML, and etc. And of course, in Russia, we also use it for developing. Okay, I think it's clear for many of you. You can see that competitor can select open source libraries and frameworks for making test project, for completing test project. And for example, as you know, in many skills, in IT skills, competitors don't have access to external libraries, so they can use only that was provided with the infrastructure list in a competition. But in our skill, I think we are first skill, IT skill, which allow for competitors to download open source libraries from a GitHub, for example, from a Cocoa Pods for iOS and etc. And it means that competitor can use useful instruments for programming, for creating a mobile application. For example, for make some HTTP requests, or for saving some information, or for serialize and deserialize some JSON data, and etc. Because in real life, every developer, every mobile developer use many libraries in their life. For example, Android developers often use retrofit library for making HTTP requests and etc. Or for example, iOS developers often use Swifty JSON application, Swifty JSON library for serialize and deserialize JSON data. Okay. And of course, for example, in Russia, we allow competitors provide experts list of libraries that they want to use before C-2 day. And then we will check them and allow to use them or disallow to use them for competitors. And it's very good practice because of libraries, competitors can make more, can create applications with more quality, with many features, with more functionality and etc. And because if we don't have any libraries, some competitors will have got some problems with, for example, deserialize and serialize JSON, and it will take many time. But with libraries, competitor can write just one line of code and make everything that he needs. I think it's very good that we allow to use external libraries. Okay, and of course, we need to know, not we too, but first of all, competitors will know how to handle some issues, will know what each use can be found while mobile application development. For example, in Russia, we every year have a issue about working with external services. Maybe you know if you're trying to connect to external server from mobile application, it will be prohibited to use HTTP protocol, for example, or HTTPS2. And for example, competitor will know that he need to add some additional setting to a project for allowing HTTP requests, for example. And or there can be some issues with giving access to hardware things like gyroscope, GPS, and etc. And competitor will know what each issues can be found and how to solve these issues. Okay. And the next thing about the coding, implementation and product development, it's about 30%, in Russia 55%. There are about the coding, and we have also interesting things here. For example, of course, competitor will know how to use the hardware things like a Bluetooth, accelerometers, and etc. For example, in Worldskills Kaizen 2019, we've got some model in test project where competitor will use compass for finding navigation, but there was a problem because we don't have a magnetometer in our devices that was provided by infrastructure list, and it was funny. So, and you can see that competitor will know how to how he can present some information, like use charts. And I think for that, competitor also can use some external libraries, because creating charts without libraries, it's a very hard thing, and it's can take many time. You can see that competitor will know about the animation. I don't know about what animation test project creator, technical description creators think here, but I think that of course competitor will know how to make animation between scenes, between screens, for example, showing and hiding some information, and etc. Okay, and another interesting thing, it's about encryption and decryption. Maybe it's just about HTTPS protocol. Maybe not. Maybe a competitor will know how to make some, how to encrypt some information. Maybe how to use some hashes like MD5, SHA, and etc. So I guess that we need to discuss it in the forum, because we need to know what competitor will know, and what competitor will shall able to do. First of all, develop interface for our application, of course. He need to know how to use languages for development mobile application, and I think it's very important for competitors and for experts, of course, to know current languages. For example, for iOS development, we have Swift. And for now, we have an interesting thing like a Swift UI for creating mobile interfaces. And I think it's an interesting thing, because with a Swift and Swift UI, we can make mobile application very fast. And today we will show it for you. Okay. Next one, it's about testing. We've got it in 6th section. So I think it's very important to test mobile application. There are many developers in Russia. There are many students in Russia which don't know anything about the testing mobile applications, or not only mobile applications. It's about the software products, like desktop products, like a web application, etc. And it's very important to know about the unit testing, about the UI testing, and etc. Because people like us, like customers, need to get quality products without some bugs, without some crashes, and etc. And because some bugs, some errors can be very fatal, because with some bug we can application can withdraw some money from your bank account, or make wrong navigation for plane and etc. So testing every feature in mobile application, it's very important. And because of that, we in Russia skill and in international skill, we also add some testing modules in our test project. And you can see that here we have some point about the UI testing, yeah, about the programming interfaces and etc. And about the testing APIs and etc. So the last one, it's about the final product test. I told about it before, and there are interesting thing about the analyze and evaluate stage of projects for clients specifications and for user experience and etc. I guess that competitor can be provided with some applications maybe, and the competitor will write some report about how its application same as the requirements of clients. And just a second, I want to find additional one. Where is it? Here we can find another thing for client, for production. We've got some marketing solutions for application store, so competitor, I guess, will know how to create icon for application, how to create the screens for application, etc. for stores and another things. It's about UI and about designer skills. And these things about the manager skills, about the final reports, about the stages, about the optimization and etc. So we will be ready for make competitor which have skills for programmer, for manager and designer. So the another points you can learn yourself. I will send this test project description in our Telegram channel. I downloaded this one yesterday from my official website. So this last version of our technical description version from April. Next interesting thing, it's about where is, just a second. Marking. It's about skill. It's about the procedures of our skill. Here, thank you. Here we can see interesting thing about the music in our skill area. For example, in Russia, we allow competitors to use audio streaming services for listening to the music, because many developers in real life can't work without some audience, without some music things. Even it helps to make some rhythm for coding, maybe for some imagination, for creating some imagination things, and etc. And for example, in Worldskills Shanghai, competitors will also can bring 20 songs in MP3 format, and these songs will be checked with the experts, and the songs will be provided for listening during the competition. So it's very very important thing, because in competition valleys there are many people, there are many noises and etc. So music helps to be in your own world with your music and your programming, with your integrated development environments. And you can see some information about the internet workstations. It also can be used during the competition. Okay, next one, it's about the where is it? About competition skill rules. Just a second, where is this one? I found it. Yeah, skill specific rules. You can see that, of course, competitors can use their devices, their sticks, cameras, and etc. All devices from a competitor will be stored in safe areas, and of course, it's very important. And the interesting thing about that, competitor can't ask information about the test project. Where is it? I will, just a second. Find it. Why is there search not working? That works. Okay, I will find it a little bit later. So you can see that in the skill area, experts can use any devices for getting information, for like the cameras and etc. And of course, before using our cell phones in the skill area, we will get allowing from a chief expert or deputy chief expert and etc. So in our slides, I showed you roles that competitor will have, and it's also wrote in where is it? I'm trying to find it. I didn't remember in what work. Yeah, we also have these roles here. I copy and paste that from here. So there was very short introducing for our technical description. I think that everyone need to read this technical description more with more attention, and I'll send it in our Telegram channel. And of course, if you will have a time after our camp, I hope that you will can read all this technical description, and maybe if you have some questions, or maybe you not agree with some sentences in our technical description, you also can discuss it in our official forum on worldskills.org. And I guess that we can make our skill more interesting and interesting for experts and of course for competitors. So next one, where's my slides? Just a second. And next one, oh, the wrong time. Just a second again. Now it's good. Yeah, and now I think that we need to make some break because some of you have empty cups of coffee, so you can fill it up, and maybe you need to make some phone call and etc. And at next, we will discuss about the platforms, about the development with my colleague Lydia, and we will show you some information about development. And we will continue after 10 minutes at 10:15 by Moscow time. And see you after 10 minutes. So I guess everyone here. And just a second. And okay, let's continue. As I told before, during our camp, we will show you some examples of coding, of making our test project, and we'll show you some technologies that we use for creating competitions and etc. And because we know that many of you don't have maybe enough experience in our skill, because in your countries you don't have mobile application development skill yet. But I hope that after our camp we can start a mobile application development in new few countries, and it will be very great. And our team can help you to understand everything about skill, about mobile development, and etc. And I want to introduce you our head coach of our team, Lydia. She also has many years of mobile application development. And now Lydia will make some showcase about the development mobile application. It will be like a hello world demonstration of both platforms of Android and iOS. And for tomorrow, we will show you more interesting things, and we will show you some new features of Swift UI, for example, because I want to show you that it's very important to use modern technologies in development. So Lydia, you here?
Yes, hello.
Great. Now you're entertaining our guests, so you can demonstrate your screen.
Okay, let me start the demonstration of my screen.
Hey, funny cats.
Do you see my screen?
Yeah.
Great. Okay, hello everybody, and today I want to tell you about mobile application development. And as far as I know, some of you only meet with mobile applications development, and I want to start from basis, from creation of application, from creation of project, and some layout setup. And for it, I created this little funny layouts with cat. It's a little mobile application, some kind of game maybe. And here we have a little cat, and we need to feed this cat. We may press on this button, and points of satiety of our cat will be increased. Here you can see that I use Figma application to create and to show the layouts for my mobile application. And here I have two different screens, because this is for Android operation system and this one is for iOS. And you can see that they are different because every operation system has its own style guide, and we should remember about this style guide when we create the task for our competition. And I want to start from Android, and let me create a new project and show you how to do it. I use Android Studio to create mobile applications for Android, and let me show you what version of Android Studio I use. This is 4.2.1, and I use macOS because only on macOS I can create mobile applications for iOS, and macOS allows me to create Android applications too. And I think that it's more useful and so I prefer Mac OS. Sorry. And let me create new project. I select empty activity and press next button. Here is necessary to input some information about my application. For example, name. I think it's better to name it Feed the Cat. Then I select Kotlin language, not Java, because we may use Java, but Kotlin, it's a preferable language, and Google company recommend us to use Kotlin. And I think Kotlin allows us to create applications more fast. So finish. And now Android Studio create the template of my project, and that's all. Now I have one activity. It means that we have one screen in our application, and in this screen we have only one text view with with text "Hello World" as usual. And I can run this application on Android emulator. Wait a minute, please, because my computer needs some time to open the Android emulator. Here we are. We have Feed the Cat and Hello World text view in the center of this screen. So now I want to set up my application and add image with cat. Oh, I have some problem with Android Studio. That's all, I hope. So I want to add image with this red cat button on the bottom of my screen, and to text view with word satiety and the value of the current value of satiety of my cat. How to export image from Figma to my project? I just select this image, and on the right side of my screen I have export field. I press on it and select, for example, 2x size of my image, and press on button export. And here I can change the name of my image and save it on my download folder. That's all. Then I need to copy these colors to set up them in my project. And I need to go to Android Studio and hope that Android Studio will not freeze. So to set up the color of toolbar. What is toolbar? This is the line of the top of my screen. I need to go to the folder values, and here I have the file colors.xml, and here I have the all colors of my applications. For example, this violet color, not violet, purple, and I want to change the code to this orange color. Then I return to Figma to copy the dark orange color and to paste it here. And if I will restart my application, we can see that we have colors like in my layout. Feed the cat and 2 orange lines. Okay, then I will go to activity main XML file. This is the layout of my application, and here I have constraint layout as the root of my layout. I recommended you to use constraint layout in every case because it's very powerful, and it allows us to create a lot of features. For example, I remove this text view and I want to add the cat to my screen. First of all, I need to add image with cat to my project. So I open the download folder. Here I have this cat. I want to copy it and paste to my project to drawable folder. Drawable is a special folder for images. Here I have name cat. Okay. And now I have this beautiful cat in my project. Then I want to add it into my screen, and I add image view component to my screen. And here Android Studio allows me to choose what image I want to show on this image view. I'm clicking on cat and select it. Here I have my cat, and now I want to set up on the place of this image on my screen. Here on the right side of my screen, I have special constraint widget, and I want to set up the coordinates of my cat. I click on these plus buttons and set the values of to zeros. It means that this cat will be on the same, will be on center of my screen. And here I have layout with wrap content, so this cat can increase if we have a big screen on our device. Then I want to add a button to my screen. Here we have this button, and it's necessary to change the text on this button. As far as I remember, we have the text feed, and we have another color of this button. I copy it from Figma, and I want to change it. To change the background color of our button, we need the special property background tint, and I'm input this value here. And now we have button with correct color. Then it's necessary to create constraints for this button, because we need to see this button on the bottom of our screen, and at the center of screen by horizontally. It means that it's necessary to add constraints in the left, in the right, and in the bottom. Then I want to check some parameters, 24, and here I input 24. I think it's a correct place of this button. Let's try to run this application. We need to wait a little, as usual. Okay, we have button. We can press on it. We have this kitten, and it's necessary to add to text view. I have text view here, first and second. Then I want to check the font size of my text views. Here I have 18 and here 18 too. Satiety. So I want to input this text. Change the color of my text because here we have the black. And the size, text size 18 is P. The same for second text view. Here I input the default value for our satiety 0 because we are not already feed this cat. Then 18 SP and text color black. And bold. The next step is to set up the place, of my text view, and I want to check it on Figma. 24 and 16 to the top. I press on these blue buttons. Here we have 16. At the right we have 24. Then seven. Between these two text views, I can add the top constraint with this button, 16. But now I want to create constraint between these two text views, and I do it in this way. But not 0, we have 7 points here. That's all. Let me try to run this application. Satiety 0, cat, button. I think it's very close to my layout. Maybe the cat is too large. I can make it smaller. I don't need wrap content. What the size of this cat? Some kind of it. Okay, and now I want to do something when the user press on this button. I want to increase the value of cat satiety. How to do it? Let me show you the Kotlin language. Here in my project, I have the file main activity, and here I have class main activity. And I want to add the link to my button and create on-click listener for this button. How to do it? Of course, I can create just a variable button. First of all, I need to add identifier to my button. Here, I input identifier feed button. Okay, And here I can create button, and as usual in Android, if you know it, we use the method find view by ID. But this approach is too old because it's need a lot of time to create all links to all interface components on my screen. And I think it's not useful for competition, for example, because on competition we have a little time. That's why I and Google recommend you to use new feature, which is called view binding. To use this feature, I should to on it on my build.gradle file, and it look like build features. View binding. Then it's necessary to sync my project. Okay, now Android Studio will create the special file for my activity main.xml special class with links to all components of user interface on my on this screen. I should to change this bad name for my text view with satiety value. Something like satiety text view, because I will use it in my code to change the value on it. Then I should to go to main activity.kt because we use Kotlin, and here is necessary to add the link to my special class activity main binding. This class will be generated by Android Studio. How to do it? I create a private constant with name binding, and use some syntax sugar of Kotlin to create it. And here I call activity main binding file with special method layout and pointer. Here on this field, on this binding constant, we will have the link to object in which we can find all user interface components from our screen activity main. And here is necessary to change binding root. Now I can use this binding to get the reference to my button. How to do it? It's very simple, just binding, and here I have all components of user interface in my activity main.xml layout. I need to feed button, and I want to set on click listener for this button. As usual, I use syntax sugar of Kotlin language. Without an anonymous classes as in Java, I can just input code which will be executed when user press on this button, just here between these brackets. And I want to get the the value from my text view with satiety and increase it. So I want to get a reference to satiety text view and get text from it. Then I want to create integer value for this. and increase it. Now I have some error here. Because we need to change the type of string to integer. And I don't forget how to do it on Kotlin. Okay. Let me just output some information when we press on this button. I will use toast for it, and to create toast, I just use this class with toast. Toast, it's a little pop-up on the bottom of the screen. And here I need to add the time, how many seconds we want to show our toast, and just show it. Here I have a toast when I press on this button. Then I want to increase the value of satiety. And I get the text from my text view. And change it to int type. I forgot to add some libraries. Oh, sorry. Okay, here we have our application. We can press on this button and change and when we press on this button, we can see the toast with some information. Or we can just change the value on our text view. Like this. Okay, this is for Kotlin language and for Android application development. I think that Kotlin is more powerful, and it allows us to create our applications very fast. It's not necessary to spend a lot of time to add something like find view by ID or something else. So I recommended you to use Kotlin with view binding, with data binding, and with Kotlin coroutines and other great features of this language. The next part, I want to show you how to create the same on iOS. Let me close my Android Studio, because my computer is not so powerful to run two IDE in the same time. So here we have Xcode. Xcode is a special application to create iOS applications. It's free, and if you have a macOS, you have Xcode. Here I press on create new Xcode project. And now is necessary, as usual, to set up my project. I choose app in iOS, then next, and here I input the name of my application. Feed the cat. Then I choose Storyboard Interface. It's a classical approach of creation layout for iOS application. Maybe Emil will show you Swift UI tomorrow, or maybe today. But now I want to show you the storyboard approach, because usually in companies, developers use this approach, because Swift UI is very young, I think, and don't allows us to create all what we want. So I select Swift language, because Objective-C is very old and Swift is a preferable language for iOS development. I click on Next button and select some place on my computer when I want to save this project. Okay, here I have the template of my project, and I have the code for a main screen of my application here on view controller .swift file, and here on main.storyboard I have the layout for my application, and one main screen in which I want to add all components from my layout. So first of all, I need to add this one. This is a navigation bar, and if I want to add it on my screen, it's necessary to embed this view controller into navigation controller. To do it, I just select my screen, my view controller, and here on the top menu of Xcode, I select embed in navigation controller. Now I have, maybe I have two screens, but it's not true. I have only one screen, and on the top of this screen, I will have this navigation bar. But I want to change the behavior of this navigation bar, because here on Figma we have very tall navigation bar, and to change it, I select this prefers large titles on this navigation bar settings. Then I want to change the title, feed the cat, and now the top of my screen look like layout in Figma. I can run it on simulator. I use iPhone 11 because in Figma I have layout for iPhone 11 with special screen sizes. Let me run it. We need some time to run this simulator. And I think you noticed that to develop mobile application, we need a very powerful computer. It's true. For example, I have a MacBook Pro. So I have application with this navigation bar. The next step, I want to add the picture to my project, and here in our project we have special file assets. Here we can add images like this, for example. But I have a big picture of this cat, and so I will change this resolution to 2x. It means that this picture is for screens with retina displays, for display with retina, sorry. And here I have cat picture, and now I can use it in my storyboard. I open the library. Oh, it's here. And here I have a UI image view component. The name of components in Android, in iOS is very close to each other. And here I select cat. This is my cat. I can set up this the size of this cat. Here I have this value. So in iOS, in Storyboard, we have special system to determine the place of every user interface component. We call this system after layout, and to determine the place of this cat, I should create constraints. For example, here I want to center this cat on a container by horizontally and vertically. I add these two constraints, and I want to add constraints for height and width of this image, width and height. Now in every screen, this cat will have the same size, and it will be centered on the screen. The next, I want to add button to my screen and set up it. I go to Figma to get size of my button and some another settings. I add settings for width and height, 80 and 50. And I want to add this one. It's placed between bottom and my button. And I want to center it horizontally. That's all. I set up the place of my button, and on all screens of iOS devices, this button will be on the bottom and on the center of screen. Now I want to change it, the design of this button. First of all, another text. Then we have another font size. We have 80. Oh, I don't remember. I need to check it. 17. Then text color is white, but background color is, I need to copy it from Figma. And is necessary to add it here. We have special window for it. Okay, but here we have rectangle, but on Figma we have rectangle with this type of corners. This rectangle has some corner radius, which is 8. How to set up it in iOS? I can't to set up it in Storyboard, and it means that it's necessary to set it in code. How to do it? First of all, I need to have the reference to this button on my view controller. I open view controller. On the right part of my screen, then I click on this button and create reference. This type of reference in iOS development is called outlet. This is just a reference to my button. Feed button connect. Now in my view controller class, I will have the reference to feed button and I can do something with it. For example, I want to change the corner radius of this button. How to do it? I want to use property listener, property observer, sorry, and here I can call special method and set it to correct value. Let's try to run it on my simulator. And here we have correct button with correct corner radius. Then I want to do something when the user press on this button. First of all, I need to add text view, but here on iOS we have not text view, we have label type to show some text on our screen, only to show, not to edit or input in. Then I want to check the position of my labels. Here we have label for value, and I want to add these constraints with 24, this one with 80 value, 18, sorry, and maybe with width to show the value, and I think that's enough. Then I input default value 0. Then I want to change the alignment of this text, and it's necessary to check the font of this label, 18 and bold. So here I want to change it to 18 and bold. Now I have this value. I think it's too large, and I go to this panel. It's a size inspector, and here I want to change the value of this constraint for width. I think 30 will be enough. Then I want to add another label for text satiety, and I input it here. And I want to create constraints first of all, I want to create constraints between these two labels with horizontal spacing, and to this. For the top, and that's enough. Another font size. So let's check how it will look like in our simulator. Feed the cat, satiety, cat, and our button. Okay, we can add some business logic to our application. I'm too fast today. So I need 2 screens because to add some actions when the user press on this button, we should to add another action. And here I select action. Then here I input the name of method. For example, on feed button click. I don't need any parameters on this method, and I click on connect button. Here I create method with special word IB action. It means that this method is connected with Storyboard, and it will be executed when user press on this feed button. And here I can change something. For example, I can increase the value of satiety of my cat, and let me do it. So first of all, I need to new variable, and here I want to input the value from my text from my label, and it means that I need to create reference to this label, like IB outlet on feed button, but this is satiety label. So I can use it, satiety label, text, and I want to change it to int type. But here we have not any documentation because it needs some time to download it. But I know that satiety label is an optional type. It means that we should to use some default value here to get int. And now we have variable satiety with type int with this question. It means that it can be new, but I don't want to get the new here, and I get the default value. It means that if I have not any in my text view, in this variable I will have 0. So then I want to increase it, for example, by 5, and then I want to send this new value into my satiety label. Text equals to and let me run it. And you can see that here we can increase, but the width of my label is too small. And when we have satiety points more than 100, we have problems with, well, no, it depends from numbers. So let me check that I don't forget anything here. And we have feed the cat with some satiety, with a cat image, with feed. And if I will run it on, for example, on another screen size, something like iPod Touch, let's check how it will look like, because it's necessary to remember that we have a lot of screen sizes, and we should remember about these screen sizes and optimize our application for it. So here on little screen of iPod Touch, we have the same application, and I think it looks good because we have all values. We have our cat, we have the button, and we have not any problems in this screen, and everything works. Okay, Emil, do you hear me?
Of course. So thank you very much for introduction to our mobile development. I hope that it was helpful for them who didn't have experience in mobile development. And it will be very good if you will have a time for creating such type of applications for just testing. And now you can see that mobile development, it's not something hard. And for example, development of iOS application even more easily. But for today, we didn't show you modern Swift UI language for creating a layout. And for tomorrow, we will prepare a little showcase of Swift UI for showing you that development for iOS applications more faster and more easy. And for tomorrow, I hope will be more interesting and funny with more funny examples. And as I see, Lydia want to share you with this layout, yeah?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, great. Yeah, Lydia will send this link to our Telegram channel, and if you need, you can try to do it yourself. And if you will have questions, for example, you can do something or etc., you also can write in our Telegram channel or directly to me, and of course we will help you. And so where's my slides? Just a second. Yeah, and I think for today, that's all information that we prepared for you. And I hope that it was useful and interesting for you. And for now, we are ready to answer questions if you have them. And maybe you've got a feedback for us. And maybe you have something that we can prepare for you for the next days, because we have a full week for our interesting discussions. So maybe some feedback. And while we're waiting you, I want to entice that tomorrow we will show some technologies that we use for preparing our competitions. We will show some demonstration for working with version control system. I will explain you for what we are use it, why it's very necessary for competitions and for our skill, of course. And I hope tomorrow you will get more interesting experience in little bit software, hardware skills, etc. So, Alizera, thank you for thanks. Oh yeah, I see a question from Fatima. In the Russian competition, we need to prove so Fatima, I think that in Shanghai there will be allowed only native development and of course Flutter, because we've got a Flutter in technical description, so it's automatically allowed in during competition. And so I think that Flutter can be used by competitor. In the previous version of our technical description for Shanghai, we've got React Native too, but in the current version, as you see, we don't have it. So we've got just a Flutter for cross-platform development. So I think competitor can use it. About a question from Malaysia about the basic requirements for a competitor's computer. For example, in Russia, for most big competitions, we use Apple computers, AMX or another, because with this hardware, we can create applications for both platforms, like for iOS and Android. But for example, in your national skills and your national competition, you programming just for Android platform. You don't need to buy expensive Apple computers. So I think the minimum requirements for a competitor's computer is 8 gigabytes of read-only memory. Oh, sorry, not read-only memory, RAMs. I don't remember this abbreviator. So, and I think that it's very important to have a SSD, not hard disk drive. We often recommend to buy SSDs because they are very faster, and many things with compiling, with analyzing, and with the coding. It works with a memory, so SSD will help you to work very fast. And if I need to tell something about the CPU, I don't know what will be best. I think that it will be better if you will buy CPUs from Intel, because they are normally allowed to run emulators. Because, for example, some CPUs from company AMD, they don't have any virtual environment to run Android emulator. So Intel will be better. For example, Intel i3rd generation and etc. So I hope that I answered your question. If not, tell me. Question from Aaron. No, we're not too specialized in both Android and iOS. So your competitor need to choose what platform he want to use, for what platform competitor want to develop. For example, in our national competition, for our national teams and etc., we recommend to use iOS platform because it's more faster for development and faster for development in Worldskills too. and because we use it. But Android, it's very good too. And for example, if you know, in Android, we've got a new additional feature like a Swift UI in iOS. In Android, it's called Lydia, can you help me with this thing? Oh, I didn't remember the name of this thing. Just a second. Compose. Yeah. I'm about the Jetpack Compose. It's like a Swift UI for iOS. So it's too good thing, but I think it's too early to use it because there are some problems, some bugs maybe. But maybe in the next year it will be better and useful. So another question? Okay, I see that there are no questions. Can the program? Of course, competitor can use Java because it's officially pre-installed in Android Studio, and as Lydia showed, while you're creating a new project in Android Studio, you need to choose language, Kotlin or Java. So Java is also allowed, but you will know that Kotlin is a better way for programming Android application because it's more unstable for newbies. It's more easily, and Kotlin has many syntactic sugars for faster development. So, and Google, as Lydia told, Google recommend to use Kotlin, of course. Okay. So about what training documents you ask? Can you tell me? Ivan, about the Kotlin multi-platform mobile, I think it's a good thing. And if I remember, in the previous year, we tried to use it for real production application, but we've got some problems. I didn't remember which problems we've got, but from this day, we again start using only native development because we really love native development. It's better, it's faster, and more interesting. So we not often use multi-platform things. But also I want to try again to use the Kotlin multi-platform mobile. Maybe now it's better and faster. But in our skill, if you talk about the Worldskills and skill mobile application development, it's not allowed here. And because during our camp, we don't interesting in KMM. So any additional questions?
Maybe the question about training documents is about project. If it's necessary, I can share all these two projects which I create today.
If you need these projects, you also can write here in Zoom now or in Telegram channel, and we will share it, of course. But I think that it will be better if you try do it everything yourself to get more experience on this easy project, like this funny cat with a eating. So, but if you need, we can share it, of course.
Emil, may I show something in Kotlin?
You're about integer values?
Yes.
Yeah.
I can
Okay.
show the stupid mistake. I forgot about it, but now I remember. Let me share my screen.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sorry. It happened because usually I write on Swift and can forget something in Kotlin. So here I have the same cat, and I forget one little thing, that this property text get me not string but char sequence. So that's why I can't use a method to int this. But if I change it to string type, then I may change it to int. And now I can again change the value of my text view like this. Of course, it's a bad name for this variable. Value and value plus 5, for example. Yes, I assume names of my variable, and here to string. And now I can run this application and show you that everything is working. And here I can feed my cat. And here I will not have a problems with the size of this text view, because on Android I set the width of this text view is wrap content. But on iOS we have some problems with it. It's all. That's all what I want to show you. And if you need this project, I can share you it and send on Telegram, for example. Just write to me or to Emil. Thank you. That's all.
Yeah. Now we have a happy cat, and
yes,
I hope
on
that
Android too.
yeah, I hope that cat is full and don't want to eat. So thank you, Lydia. And other questions? Maybe. Okay. So I think that we can finish our session for today. And I hope that you all will be tomorrow to get more information, interesting information. And the people who was in, for example, Skills Camp in the breaks, you should know that tomorrow you will get new information for you. It not will be boring for you. So, okay, see you tomorrow. Bye-bye all.